What if I told you that some of the best years of your life, the healthiest, most energetic, and most joyful years, could begin right now, at 70? Sounds outrageous, doesn't it? We've all been led to believe that by the time we hit this age, the best we can do is manage our health or cope with aging. But here's the truth, that idea is simply outdated. In fact, science is finally catching up to something many wise elders have always known in their hearts. Your body and mind are incredibly adaptable, even in your 70s and beyond. This isn't about chasing youth or pretending you're 25 again. It's about reclaiming strength, clarity, and vitality in a way that suits your stage of life, and maybe even doing things you never thought possible. So today, we're talking about 7 powerful changes you can start making right now. Yes, right now. You don't need perfect genes or a personal trainer. You just need a little curiosity, a willingness to try, and the belief that it's not too late. Because it's not. It never is. Let's start with something deceptively simple: movement. Not exercise in the way you might picture it, with grueling workouts or jumping around to loud music. I'm talking about joyful, gentle, intentional movement. The kind that wakes up your joints in the morning and calms your mind at night. A daily walk around the block, stretching your arms and legs while breathing deeply, dancing a little to your favorite old tune in the living room when no one's watching. These may sound small, but they are mighty. Your muscles, bones, and even your brain respond when you move. Blood flows, oxygen circulates, and your balance improves. One woman I met started walking every morning at age 73. At first, it was just to the end of her driveway and back. Then a week later to the corner store. 2 months later, she was walking a mile each day, chatting with neighbors, feeling sharper, sleeping better, and smiling more. Movement became her medicine, not in a flashy, Instagram-worthy way, but in a real, soul-nourishing way. Once you start moving your body, something else begins to shift. You start feeling a little more in charge, and that's when you're ready to make the next powerful change, the way you nourish yourself. Now, before you worry that I'm about to suggest kale smoothies and quinoa bowls at every meal, relax. I'm not here to take away your favorites. I'm here to remind you that your body, even now, craves what it needs to heal and thrive. That means choosing foods that love you back. Think colorful vegetables, hearty whole grains, good fats like olive oil and avocado, and proteins that keep you strong. You don't need a massive overhaul. Just small swaps can do wonders. Maybe it's choosing roasted sweet potatoes instead of fries, or adding a handful of spinach to your morning eggs, or drinking a glass of water before your coffee. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. And yes, you can still enjoy dessert. But when your plate is mostly filled with foods that fight inflammation, balance your blood sugar, and support your heart, your body notices. You'll feel it in your energy, your digestion, even your mood. You might even notice that afternoon slump isn't as bad, or that your joints feel less stiff in the morning. This change doesn't have to feel like a punishment. It can feel like kindness, a gift you give to the body that's carried you through so much. And speaking of kindness, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked, but is just as important as movement and food. Your thoughts, more specifically, the way you talk to yourself. This might surprise you, but the way we speak to ourselves, especially as we age, can have real effects on our health. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm too old for this," or "my time has passed," your body listens. Those thoughts shape your habits, your motivation, and even your immune system. But if you wake up and say, "Today, I get to take care of myself," everything shifts. This isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing words that support you instead of tear you down. One man I spoke to, now 78, started ending each day by saying one thing he was proud of, even if it was just, "I took a walk," or "I called my grandson." Within weeks, his sleep improved, his anxiety dropped, and he found himself smiling more often. Changing your inner dialogue. is one of the most powerful and most underrated ways to turn your health around. Because your mind and body are always talking to each other. When one heals, the other follows. So if you're sitting there wondering whether these changes are too small to matter, let me tell you this. It's often the smallest things that spark the biggest transformations. A step, a thought, a bite. That's how momentum begins. That's how change becomes your new normal, and we're just getting started. There's something magical that starts to happen when you take those first steps, literally and figuratively. Maybe your joints feel a little looser, your energy creeps up just a bit, or maybe you just feel proud that you did something for yourself. That spark, that quiet sense of momentum is what opens the door to the next shift. And this one, it has everything to do with sleep. Now let's be honest, sleep in our later years can become a bit of a mystery. Some nights you fall asleep in seconds, other nights your mind just won't shut off. You wake up at 2 a.m. thinking about something from 30 years ago, or you get up in the morning feeling like you didn't rest at all. But here's the good news. Your body wants to sleep well, and with a few small changes, you can start sleeping deeper, longer, and waking up more refreshed, no matter your age. Start by thinking of sleep not just as the end of the day, but as something you prepare for, like you would for a guest you care about. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Put away screens. Maybe play soft music. Sip a little chamomile tea, or read something gentle and calming. Think of it as easing your body into rest, not forcing it. You'd be amazed at how even a short nightly ritual signals your brain that it's time to unwind. And let's not forget about what happens during sleep. This is when your brain clears out waste, your cells repair, your heart gets a break. Deep sleep is one of the most powerful natural healing tools we have, and it doesn't cost a dime. So don't brush it off. Honor it. Treat it like the medicine it is. Now that we're talking about rest and renewal, there's another kind of rest we often ignore: mental rest. Which brings us to the next change: reducing stress and reconnecting with calm. It's no secret that stress affects the body. But the stress we carry after 60, it's often subtle, quiet, even invisible. It comes from loss, from change, from worry about loved ones, from watching the world move so fast you sometimes feel left behind. That kind of stress doesn't shout, it hums in the background, and it wears us down. So how do we gently lower the volume of that hum? One beautiful way is with mindfulness. Now I know that word can feel a little trendy or vague, but really it just means paying attention on purpose to the moment you're in. You can do it while sipping tea, folding clothes, sitting by the window. Just breathe and notice. Notice how the cup feels in your hand. Notice the color of the leaves. Notice your breath coming in and out. This small practice, just a few minutes a day, tells your nervous system you're safe. You don't have to be on high alert. And your body responds. Blood pressure drops, heart rate steadies, muscles soften, sleep deepens. You start to live with your life, not just race through it. One man told me he started practicing mindfulness by simply sitting on his porch each morning. No phone, no agenda, just sitting. He said after a few weeks he wasn't just calmer, he felt more alive, more present in his conversations, more tuned into beauty. And the funny thing is, when your mind feels calm, your body often follows. So we've talked about movement, food, sleep, and stress. But there's another force just as vital, maybe even more so. And that's connection. It's easy to underestimate how much being around others affects your health. But loneliness, especially in older adults, isn't just sad. It's dangerous. It can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That sounds dramatic, I know. But your heart, your immune system, even your memory, they're all deeply tied to your sense of connection, being seen, being heard, being valued. Now, I don't mean you have to throw parties or join big clubs if that's not your thing. Connection can be a phone call, a shared walk, a moment of laughter with the cashier at the store. It's about opening small windows of warmth in your day. If you're feeling isolated, start small. Call someone you've been meaning to talk to. Send a letter, or better yet, invite someone to walk with you. It can be awkward at first, sure, but so many people out there feel just as alone as you might, and they're waiting for someone like you to reach out. There's also something incredibly powerful about purpose. We often think of purpose as a job, a title, something we do. But at this stage of life, purpose can be something quieter. It can be sharing your stories, teaching what you know, volunteering a few hours, or simply being someone others can count on for a kind word or a gentle ear. You're not done, not even close. In fact, your wisdom, your resilience, your perspective, it's needed now more than ever. Your life still has chapters to write, and health is the foundation that allows you to write them with strength and joy. All these changes we've talked about, they don't require perfect conditions. You don't need fancy equipment, a gym membership, or the latest superfood. You just need to believe that change is possible, and then begin. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how the pieces begin to fit together. Your body responds, your mind softens, your spirit lifts, and believe me, there's more. When you begin to care for your body and mind with even a little more intention, it's like lighting a candle in a dark room. Slowly, things become clearer. You see possibilities where there used to be limits. And the best part, that light starts to shine into every part of your life, including one of the most underrated but powerful areas of health, learning. That's right. Continuing to learn, no matter your age, can do wonders for your brain. You may have heard the term neuroplasticity. It's just a fancy way of saying your brain can change and grow, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. When you try new things, challenge yourself to think differently, or simply stay curious, your brain responds by building new connections. It doesn't matter if you're learning a new language, trying out a recipe you've never made, or picking up a new hobby like painting or photography. What matters is that you're engaging your mind, not just passively watching life go by, but leaning into it. There's a story I love about a man who started learning to play the harmonica at 74. He'd never played an instrument before. At first, it was slow going, but every evening, he'd sit on his porch and practice for 10 minutes. By the time he turned 76, he was playing little songs for his great-grandkids and laughing with pride. "I didn't just learn music," he said. "I learned that I can still surprise myself." That kind of spark keeps the brain young. It keeps you young, and it reminds us that growing older doesn't mean growing smaller. It can mean expanding, deepening, becoming more of who you really are. And here's where it all comes together. When you move more, eat with care, sleep better, manage stress, connect with others, and keep learning, something deeper begins to shift. You start to feel stronger inside, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to feel that it's not just about surviving, it's about living well. Maybe the most beautiful part of turning your health around at 70 is the wisdom you bring to the journey. You're not chasing youth, you're honoring your life. You're not trying to be someone else, you're finally making space to be the best version of yourself. And that's something younger folks often miss. You know what matters. You know that health isn't about looking perfect or doing everything right. It's about waking up with energy, being able to do the things you love, feeling connected to the people who matter, and knowing that you still have a place in this world. Want you to hear this loud and clear: you are not too old, you are not too late, and it is not too hard. Every day you're here is a gift, and you have every right to use that day to grow stronger, healthier, and more fulfilled. Don't let anyone, even your own doubts, convince you otherwise. So, what can you do right now, today, to start this journey You could take a short walk outside and feel the breeze on your face. You could choose a nourishing meal that supports your energy. You could call a friend or write in a journal. You could pick up that book you've been meaning to read or close your eyes for 10 minutes of quiet. Every little action is a message to yourself. I matter. My health matters. My life matters. And if this video has helped you feel even a little more hopeful, a little more inspired, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. What small change are you going to try this week? Or maybe you've already started making changes and have something to celebrate. Tell us about it. Your story could encourage someone else who's just getting started. And if you found this helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here of strength, wisdom, and support. A place where you can grow, learn, and thrive at any age. Remember this: the past is part of your story, but it doesn't define your future. You can begin again at 70. You can become stronger, calmer, and more alive than ever before. Because the truth is, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new, powerful chapter, and you get to write it one beautiful day at a time.